The views are out of this world.
This thing is unbelievable. It sounds incredible.
Golly gee, everybody, look at that.
Welcome to the final episode of Drive TV for Season 4. This is our EV season, and if you ask me, we have saved the best until last. We've driven all manner of hybrid and electric vehicles this season, but this episode, we're going to do something I've been wanting to experience for quite some time. We're going to drive old vehicles that have been converted to modern electric drivetrains. It's something that you might have thought was well beyond our capability, but it's not. It's happening right now, and it's happening right here in Australia. I'm really excited. We've got a couple of special ones to look at. Let's get into it. I'm here at one of my favourite environments anywhere on Earth, to be honest with you, a workshop with hoists and lots of tools, and we're with Jay from Evolution. Jay, this is a bit of an Aladdin's cave. Tell us a little bit about Evolution and a little bit about what you do.
We do convert petrol cars to electric, so we can put an electric drivetrain in any car. We'll be able to tailor a solution to whichever vehicle you would want to choose. That's
pretty exciting. And what do you do here, mate, specifically? I know we joked off camera that you're a J of all trades, but what do you actually do?
I do most things, really.
Yeah. Any of the mechanical work?
Any of the mechanical work, any of the fitting, anything, chargers, batteries.
All that stuff. Well, what I'm most excited about is what's around us here in the workshop. So Jay's going to show us a few of the cars that are either just finished or just about to be finished. Now, Jay, walking around in here, one of the most, I guess, exciting elements of this to me is you can give iconic cars a new lease on life, right? So we all know what we're looking at here. Tell us a little bit about this car.
Yeah, so this is a mini moke that we've converted to electric. It's got its standard gearbox coupled to an electric motor.
Yep.
Full of batteries in the back.
And in terms of, I guess, the challenges of the installation here, because this is quite a compact vehicle, it seems to me, if I look at this and you can turn this into an EV, you can pretty much turn anything into an EV. I love this, mate. This is one of my favourites in here. I have to confess, I'm a bit of a Subaru Brumby fan and always have been. So tell me a little bit about this. I noticed the wheels look like they're off an Impreza, so there's a little bit of sorcery going on under the skin here, isn't there?
Yep. It previously had a WRX conversion.
Oh, that had a WRX engine in it to start with, right? Yep. Okay.
So it's still got its 6-speed manual and disc brakes and
all-wheel drive
system.
Yep.
That's from a WRX.
Yep.
And this is a Leaf motor that's custom-made a bell housing to fit.
So Leaf motor adapted to a WRX gearbox into all-wheel drive.
Yes.
Does that mean the battery pack's from a Leaf as well, or have you done something completely different?
We've made this battery pack in-house. Here's our luxurious 90s Range Rover.
I know you laughed when I said luxurious, but if you're a Range Rover fan, cover your ears, because it depends on which way you're coming at it. This was luxurious in the 90s, I guess, not so much now. But looking in here, Jade, it just looks like a Range Rover. I bet you it doesn't drive like a Range Rover, though. It probably doesn't use 30 litres per 100 in traffic.
No, it doesn't. It has less range than others because it is a big, heavy, square car.
Yeah, not very aero efficient. A DeLorean, a car that everybody everywhere on Earth probably knows what it is. What an awesome car.
It is pretty nice.
Yeah, you were right when you said exotic. I didn't expect to see this here. Just quickly tell me the basics of what we're running here, battery pack and motor.
Yeah, it's a Tesla motor and a Renault Zoe battery pack.
Now, listen, you've been telling me all morning that these electric vehicles are easy to drive. What are the chances I can take this for a drive?
Oh, if you don't tell anyone.
Done. Well, I've got to be honest, this is kind of surreal. I've always wanted to drive a DeLorean, and I absolutely, at no point, assumed that the first time I did drive a DeLorean, it would have an electric powertrain. This thing is exactly like driving a DeLorean would be. It feels and smells and looks and responds, I guess, like a standard DeLorean, but the drivetrain's electric. It's really quite surreal. And the other thing too, that whirring that you get with an electric motor that you can hear when you're driving the DeLorean, it suits it. It goes to that whole Back to the Future thing. And look, let's mention that white elephant while we can. This is a car that absolutely everybody on the planet knows, everybody on the planet recognises, and I've been copping that all afternoon while I've been driving it around. I've never been waved at, smiled at, and had so many photos taken of any car that I'm driving as much as I have driving this one. So everybody knows what it is, and yet here we are rolling down the freeway in an electric DeLorean. It's just really, really hard to get your head around. And I am having my whole Marty McFly, Doc, Biff moment, whatever you want to call it, and gigawatts, and we've got to be doing 88 miles an hour, which I'm not going to do now because obviously that's higher than the speed limit in Australia. I think it's really cool. It's obviously not going to be for everybody. I get that. But as we've seen today, looking at the other vehicles, you can convert all manner of things to a full electric drivetrain if you really want to and if you've got the money. So it's not going to be for everyone, but in terms of the driving enjoyment, being here behind the wheel, yes, I'm driving my first DeLorean. Yes, it's electric. It's actually quite enjoyable. It's good fun. We've looked at the most expensive, the most exotic and the most affordable electric vehicles on the market. Let's take a look back at some of our favourite moments from this series. We wanted to experience some G-forces and understand what it is that your body does, because you get a fair bit when you put your foot down in an electric vehicle.
So quite literally roped into yet another activity, which seems to be a theme for me here at Drive.
The sign behind me might say it was voted Australia's tidiest town in 2009, but for 2 weeks in January, it's all about the Country Music Festival. So as we said, we've got a special guest for this episode, country music legend, I think we can say, Troy.
Mate, you can call me legend if you like, but it doesn't wear well with me, Trent.
Now, if you would have told me about a month ago that I would be here, about 100 kilometres north of Melbourne, nestled deep in the valley of 1,000 hills, on a manicured cricket pitch that looks as though it was plucked from Lords of London itself, I would have said you were mad. But here we are, and you know what? It really works.
We're talking to Dan Zollfeld. He's CEO of the Zigzag Railway. Dan, I'm pretty excited just to be here and see all of this going on, because this is a place that, as a kid growing up in Sydney, you either came with your family, came on a school excursion, or you wanted to come.
Absolutely.
But now it's going to be open again, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of focus with new electric vehicles on manufacturers that are new, not just to the Australian market, but globally as well. However, like the BMC behind me, there's plenty of established manufacturers that are going down the full electric vehicle path as well. Let's take a look back at the Mercedes-Benz and the Volvo that we drove this season.
We're starting this road trip from a beautiful beach in an area that was once dubbed the surfers' paradise of Victoria. But we're nowhere near Queensland. In fact, we're in a stunning pocket in Gippsland.
Listen as your day unfolds, challenge what the future holds.
I'll be getting around in the stylish all-new Volvo C40 Recharge. Volvo's first dedicated electric vehicle.
Go ahead, release your fears.
The Volvo C40 is the first Volvo that they're offering which has sole electric power. And it looks quite similar to something that you've probably seen on the road before, the XC40 Recharge, and that's because it's twin. This car is packed with features, but one of the things I love about it the most is that it is familiar. It looks and feels like a Volvo, but just with an electric motor. So Volvo is looking well into the future, and if this C40 is anything to go by, then their future is looking rather bright. Let's ask Google what she thinks about the future. Hey Google, tell me about the future.
In the future, I see us playing a few games. We can play a game, I can tell you some jokes. Or we can see what random fun comes our way.
Sounds like a plan.
This is the Mercedes-Benz EQE AMG 53, the latest high-performance, all-electric sports sedan from the oldest automotive manufacturer on the planet. Now, when I say sports sedan, let me run some numbers by you. This thing's got a 91 kilowatt-hour battery, which is good for around 500 kilometres worth of range. It's got upwards of 500 kilowatts worth of power and 1,000 newton metres of torque. For some context, that's almost double what you get out of a V8 Ford Mustang. Not bad for a quiet run down memory lane. We've got a short run along the Maroondah Highway through the little town of Yark up to Merton, where we will turn off and head to Euroa. And what I will say is that is the part of the drive that I'm looking forward to the most. Now, the beauty of an electric car, especially as a sports sedan, on a road like this means that you've got instantaneous response always. So we can be on the brakes into a slightly tight corner here and then power out of it. Now, we're taking this quite gingerly, but there is no hesitation in what the EQE can do along here. It really is a fun environment for a car like this, and that's remembering that an EV is heavy. And so coming through here, we do feel quite planted. We do feel really solid on the road, and winding down through here, it's a great run. Well, there we go, another brilliant drive, taking in the best of what the future has to offer while remembering the history of where we've come from. From the high country through here to central Victoria, there is absolutely something for everyone to enjoy, regardless of whether your Mercedes is brand new or 65 years young.
Convenience is a must for us all, and visiting a BP Pulse location, whether it's on your daily run or weekend road trip, offers fast charging for your electric car, while you can relax with a wild bean coffee, cold drink or a quick bite to eat. Use the BP Pulse smartphone app to find your nearest charging station, as well as allowing you to monitor and pay for your recharge from the palm of your hand. The rollout of Pulse locations across the country means Australia is part of BP's vision to have more than 100,000 electric vehicle charging points globally, helping to accelerate the transition to lower emission transportation. Download the app on your smartphone today so you can always find your closest BP Pulse location when you're out for a drive.
Let's not forget where the first steps toward this electric future started, and plenty of you have already been there. We've driven hybrids and plug-in hybrids. This season, we had traditional hybrid technology in the form of a Lexus SUV, and the future, or certainly the transition to the future of supercars, a plug-in hybrid Ferrari. Both excellent in their own way. Let's take a look back. To say the Ferrari 296 GTB is a special car is an understatement. Yes, it's powered by a V6 engine, but what a powertrain it is thanks to the plug-in hybrid component. This new Ferrari supercar is not just an indicator of what future hybrid technology can do, but it's a reminder that in 2023, a V6 engine is nothing to be sneezed at. There's no doubt whatsoever that to properly experience the ability and pace of a car like the 296 GTB, you need to get off the road and onto a racetrack. And that's why you need to be right here, one of Australia's best motor racing circuits, Sydney Motorsport Park. The sound you can hear, well, that's the sweet sound of Ferrari engines being revved hard and the cars being worked properly on the racetrack. We say it all the time, the only way to truly experience the performance potential of a supercar is to come to a racing circuit like this. Driving them on the street is one thing, but to truly experience what they're capable of, you have to come here to the racetrack. That's what we're going to do today. We've got a little treat for you. We're going to spend some time with Ferrari's racing instructors. Now, of course, I'm rolling out of the pits completely in electric mode, so there's no noise, but listen to this. There you go. The engine's kicked in. And what is most staggering about this car is not so much how fast it is in a straight line or the top speed. For me, it's the braking, which is unbelievable. You can brake so much later into a corner than you think you can. And then the acceleration out of that corner, if you get your braking distances right, if you get your braking marker right, the acceleration out of the corner is absolutely staggering.
So as I've mentioned, we have a hybrid. This here is the Lexus RX 500h, and I'm sure you've seen the RX out on the road before. Now, fun fact, this was actually, the RX was the very first model hybridized by the brand. So this here is the OG. Now, it looks great, it's comfortable, and I really think it's going to enjoy the route that we've mapped out for it. Nearly half of Lexus cars sold in Australia last year included some form of electrification, 46% to be exact. And they are popular for a good reason. They've been around for such a long time developing these hybrid powertrains that they are reliable, they are trusted, and I couldn't think of a better example to show you a bit more of a glimpse into hybrids.
Well, Wardy's going to say something about me bringing the weather from Sydney, but mate, you turned up here. Hello. You turned up here and it started raining, so this is your fault.
Do you know what? I'm glad you brought the jacket, Marty McFly. How cool is this?
Nice car, Papa Smurf, as well.
You don't miss it in the car park, that's for sure.
I know.
Well, what a season it has been. We've gone all the way from Back to the Future to the future. This is the new Hyundai Ioniq 6. We haven't had it in the series, but it is brand new.
Looks good.
Only got launched today. But what have we done? We've driven a Ferrari, old cars, new cars, SUVs. What's next?
There's going to be adventure next. That's the main thing. We're towing, we're touring, we're heading all over the place. Adventure on-road, off-road.
More rain?
More rain, probably, because every time we shoot an episode, especially when we close the episode, it starts raining, that's for sure.
Well, I can't wait. So that's coming up. Season 5 of Drive TV.
Yep.
On Channel 9.
That's right. And don't forget, everything that you've seen on this season of Drive, it's at drive.com.au.
Including Trent's Logie nomination.